is our very first one after Black Friday. So we're going to address it whether you feel like your Black Friday was amazing or if you feel like, girl, we do not want to talk about this disaster, sorry, called Black Friday, right? So, let's jump into it. The thing that I guess let me pause before we jump in. The thing that I want you to recognize is these are the times in running your own business that they are stretching you, right? So whether you had a good holiday, a not so great holiday, you're running promotions all the way through Christmas or New Year's, I want you to realize that this is a time that is stretching you, right? All of us, whether we have way more money in the bank, we spent a lot of money on ads, whatever the story, we have learned a ton. So this when the day is really here to give you perspective, to help you continue moving forward, because these are also the times that, especially for those of us who are new in business, it can be super discouraging, right? Because even if you make sales, you're like, I have to put in this much work to make money every single time that I need money. Like, this is crazy. So I want to give perspective and also just encourage you that you have to keep moving. So despite whether you feel like the holiday was amazing or if you feel like it was only okay or terrible, here are I'm going to be sharing with you four major things that I want you to pay attention to post Black Friday. So I'm trying to get my screen right. Okay, so if you are joining me, good morning or midday or whatever time zone you're in, and get your notebook, get your pen. Today I got a gel pen. Do y'all use these? I love them, and I bought one of those packs that had like 50 because I needed all the colors, right? So get your notebooks, your pens, all of that. So here it is. Right now, you're either in one of three places. So one, two, three is going to relate to you, and then we'll get into the 4 points. So, one, either when you executed your Black Friday strategy or Cyber Monday or the beginning of your Christmas or New Year's plan, you made sales. You were able to increase your customer base and you learn new things about your products and services, because the more exposure you have to your brand, the more you should be learning about your brand. How are people responding? What gets them excited? All of those different things you should be learning. Number two, things did not go so well for you. So either you had no sales or few sales. You had a few new people in your circle, but you feel like you definitely spent more money than what you made. Then that is also a place of learning. And the 4 points that I'm going to share absolutely relate to you, because I want you to make sure that you're not repeating this same lesson. Make sure you stay so that you're learning the lesson, right? And then number three, are the people who are listening. You in your head wanted to do Black Friday sales, or even you want to start Christmas, but you did not do it. You didn't even try, right? You got nervous. Things started to look overwhelming. And you just kind of quit on the process. So, the thing that I'll tell you is you still need to analyze why you were in that place, what caused you to be there, what caused you not to get out of that space, and how can you prevent yourself from being there, let's say for Christmas or New Year or any time next year that you choose to launch a product or service. So it doesn't matter if you did great, did awful, or did nothing. These 4 tips apply, right? Because we are all in business. We're aiming to make our first $100,000 in business. And we're not going to do that by accident. We're going to do that by being intentional about what we're doing, what we're learning through the process, and getting better each time. So, in every case, no matter which of those three categories you fall in, you have to understand what it takes to make sales, right? So if you've made some sales, it's time to start analyzing, what did I do right? What can I repeat? What was happenstance? What was accidental? How can I change that so it can be a repeatable action so that I can have more consistent sales, right? So no matter how you feel today, this is not your finish line, right? So I don't want you to at all feel like, yeah, my bank account is large or larger than it was and I'm sitting pretty. No, this is not your finish line. This is a point of data, a point of reference. So here are the four things that I want you to do and to pay attention to post Black Friday. So, number one, review your offer. A lot of us plan, we create these great offers, and then when it's time to execute, we start changing, we start getting one or two questions, and we start doing remixes, right? So I want you to analyze what was the offer that you actually made and what were people responding to, right? And the things I want you to be looking for is, was it too confusing? What were the things that people were actually excited about? And how can you repeat this in the future? Now, the best way for you to get this done is for you to share this offer with other business owners, for you to ask for some honest feedback, but also to analyze, what are your new customers and clients saying? Did you get their email addresses? Can you ask them? Can you literally just survey them about their experience working with you? So, the thing about it being confusing, it's not going to feel confusing to you. The thing that you need is outside help. So if you're in the 100K society, you can post your offers to the group, which we have been doing for the last month. But I want to see what you actually put out during the holiday, because people go in and start tweaking and changing, and they don't realize that what they're doing is taking away some of the key elements that your clients needed to see or hear from you in order to make a buying decision. So you've made things confusing, you did not make it clear. And the bottom line is, confused people don't buy. So you might have been able to make sales. However, those people already probably decided before your offer that they were going to work with you. You weren't able to attract new people if your offer was not clear. So, like I said, if you're a part of that community, share it there. If you're in my Facebook group, you can share it there as well for feedback from that community. But the thing that I don't want you to do is go ask your mom or your best friend or your child, because they're not in business. They're not business owners, and they're not going to give you a very clear perspective. They just want you to feel excited about what you did accomplish, and they're likely not to give you what I'm going to say is honest or, you know, why am I constructive criticism? That's the word. So review your offer. That's number one. Review your offer. Make sure it was clear. And what can you do if it was great? Or what were the things that were exciting? How can you do this again in the future? Number two, are you collecting client information? So it doesn't, to me, honestly, if you made sales, that's great. But I'm going to ask you, how many clients were you adding to your email list, to your text list, in your groups? How were you able to bring these people along with you? Because it's not about just a one-time sale, it's about building community, it's about being able to um, promote or help additionally serve those clients, right? So it's not all about, I sold this one item, yay, I made a sale. It's about building your brand. It's about taking that customer and that client on a journey with you so that they are getting the best result possible. So if you didn't collect their information and you just made one sale, I'm going to tell you that was not the most successful thing for you to do. We are always in the business of building our brand, building our audience, and we can't do that if we have no way to reconnect with the clients that we serve, especially during a holiday. So, when I shopped for Black Friday, even if I was buying a product, I went on there, I knew exactly what product I wanted. This company advertised to me all the time. They still told me, oh, if you put in your email, then you'll get 10% off the already reduced Black Friday deals. So of course I put my email in, whether I was ready to buy at that moment or not. I wanted to receive that specific coupon code. So if you have products, that's an easy way to do it. You can also collect information when people check out, but make sure they understand that they're signing up for your email list if that's what they're doing, or that you're adding them to your promotions. The other side is, are your like what are the lead magnets that you're creating, and did it attract anyone? So for example, if I go to that website, their prices are already low and they're going to ask me 5 questions to get 10% off when I'm already getting a deal, I may not answer those 5 questions, but just, what's my email, get my 10%, and I got it right then. They applied it to the cart. I was happy. So, are you doing things that are frustrating to your clients? Are you giving them things that they actually care to receive, as far as the lead magnets go? So, those are things I want you to consider as well. How are you attracting and collecting information from them? And are you actually giving them value in return for taking their information? Again, run these things past other business owners. You have to belong to community of business owners that are going to give you some real feedback. This is a time where I don't want you to be sensitive. I want you to say, whether this worked or not, I need to understand why, and look for the feedback, look for the criticism, look for the things that weren't as clear so that you can change them and be better. Right. So that's what I want for you to do with that. So we talked about reviewing the offer. We talked about how are you collecting your client information. Number three, were you consistent? So whether you got a lot of sales, whether you got no sales, whether you gave up on yourself, did you create a plan? Did you stick to that plan? And what about that plan needs to change? Right? Because we just got through Black Friday. You still have Christmas, you still have New Year's, you still have any time in 2022 that you choose to launch a product or service. So, what are you going to do differently? If you say, I was consistent, I posted every day, I put this up, I was getting response day after day, I was engaging people, and they were primed and ready for my sale, then I'm going to say you did a great job. Document the process and do it again. If you know you created a plan and then abandoned the plan halfway through, then you need to go back and say, well, why couldn't I execute this? What were the challenges that I created that I didn't plan for, that came up, that made this unrealistic for me? I want you to do some real analysis of that, because what's going to happen is you're just going to pull out this same plan again, try to execute it, and get no results again, right? Or get the same results. So I want you to do things that are going to fit for you. Like, for example, I can jump on a live and talk, right? It's something that I was trained to do since I was 16 years old. And I have a lot of my clients, business coaching clients, that don't love the camera. They don't. They just don't even like it. Like, I can see that a few of you are watching me live. I haven't been able to check the comments, but that kind of stuff would drive them nuts. Whether there was a lot of people watching or a little bit, it just makes them nervous and they don't perform well on camera. So I wouldn't suggest that their path or their promotions were full of doing lives, because it's just going to make them uncomfortable and it's going to cause them to not execute the plan. So did you do things like that? Did you put obstacles in your way that at the end of the day you weren't able to execute on? Analyze that. Like, think about it, go back, what was the plan, why did you stick to it, what did you eliminate almost immediately, and revamp the plan. For some of you, I am going to say, if you are just absolutely stuck at, I don't know what to post and I overthink all my posts on social media, you're going to have to get past that. Now, how you're posting and what the post consists of, you can make those fit your life. However, Not posting consistently is absolutely going to cause you problems because people aren't aware of your brand and they don't want to hear from you only because you're ready to make a sale. Like that's the easiest way to get ignored. So think of it as you need to be consistently adding value. They need to appreciate you and your business and your brand, and then they'll be willing and more prepared to buy from you. But if you only show up every time you're ready to make a sale, that's the easiest way for people to ignore and not really even understand what it is that you offer. And the fourth point, the last point is what did you learn, right? What are your customers saying? What happened that you didn't expect? What were some obstacles that came up? So, not necessarily in collecting or in consistency. Maybe you forgot to factor in that Black Friday is also when your kids have midterms or when there's some other important thing happening in your life and it came up. And so, as you're trying to execute your business plans, your life happened, right? So, what are some of those things? What did you learn? How can you plan for this better for next year? How can you make Christmas better? How can you launch your New Year's a little better? And what are some of the things that you are going to hold on for sure for any time you're ready to launch a new product or service? And what are some of the things you're going to eliminate? Definitely. So, the 4 points that I want you paying attention to is making sure you're spending some time to review your offer. Are you collecting your client information? How are you doing that? Are you giving them value in exchange for their information? Were you consistent with your plan? So for some of you, you're going to say, I didn't have a plan. I just decided I was going to post every day, whatever, and you just did it arbitrarily. Well, next time I'm challenging you to not only create a plan, but then execute it, right? And then fourth, what did you learn from this experience? And the more time that you spend right now, this close outside of that holiday, really writing down that experience. How was it for you? Even if you're just like, I didn't do anything. Well, why not? What did you watch other people do? How did you learn from what you saw? How did you learn from yourself? Do you have clients asking you what was the promotion? Hey, is your program open? Did you put this on sale? Are people asking you for things at this point? There's always something for us to learn, and there's always a way for us to be better the very next time that we do something. But we have to spend the time after we're done analyzing it, thinking about it, and writing some real notes. So I don't want you to take these 4 points and just listen to them and do nothing with them or just start pondering it in your head. I want you to actually type this up or write it down, but I definitely want you to get it out of your head and somewhere tangible that you can go back and refer. So, those are my points. Whether you did great for Black Friday, whether it didn't go as planned and you feel like you spent more money than you made, or if you didn't even execute, I want you to know that this is still the time for you to realize what worked for you, what didn't work for you, and how you can be better in the future. So, thank you guys for joining me for this Win the Day. I'm Tanika D'Souza, the 100K Challenge Chick. I have that name because I am challenging you to your first $100,000 in business revenue, right? And the only way we're going to get there is by taking the time to do these activities, like I just mentioned, where we not only go through things and learn, but we write them down, we think about them, and we plan to do better the next time. You guys have a great day. Thanks for joining me. Bye.